Hi everyone, hope you are doing well. Welcome back to another semi-satirical episode of the housing markets. Now there is a sense that the housing market will never see a property correction again, and anyone who dares to say that there will be one looks and sounds foolish. But what if I told you that there is a new breaking development, a new massive ultra stimulus push that the elites have planned for our economy, one that will turn many Americans' only and last remaining asset into liabilities. That's right. In today's video, I'm going to talk about one of the biggest stimulus pushes that is going to take place in the housing markets. The implications behind this will be a huge temporary boost to consumer spending at the cost of sacrificing the home equity that most people have spent a lifetime building up. Similar to last time, we're going to talk about anything related to economics in plain, simple English, nothing too complicated to understand. Teenagers will understand this video. Some of my commentary will be entertainment. Look, people are very stressed when listening to this stuff. You do need some entertainment. Now let's start off with the big announcement. Stimulus for the economy is coming ahead of the upcoming presidential election. But wait, you might be thinking, you haven't seen anything in the news about getting checks in the mail like we did in 2020 or 2021. That's because this is a different type of stimulus. Here's what you need to know. This coming summer, there is a substantial housing mortgage reform that could unleash the next big U.S. stimulus of up to $1 trillion into the economy. That's right, just before this year's election, they are going to orchestrate the final pump to kickstart consumer spending again. Now, I'm going to explain what's going on here. It's very important. Last month, the government-sponsored agency Freddie Mac filed a proposal with its regulator, the Federal Housing Finance Agency, short for FHFA, to enter the secondary mortgage market. Before I continue, let me define what a secondary mortgage is so that everyone knows. A secondary mortgage is a home secured loan taken out on your house while the original mortgage is still being repaid. Similar to the first mortgage, the second mortgage uses your property as collateral. Now, for some context, before the financial crisis, there was more than $700 billion in home equity loans outstanding in 2008. Today, there's about $350 billion. In plain English, that means people have been more conservative, a good thing, to keep the equity in their house as is and not borrow against it using it as a loan. This is because a lot of banks have actively taken down their mortgage exposure over the past decade to manage their risk. But now, with Freddie Mac trying to enter the secondary housing mortgage market, this means that they are trying to unlock the $32 trillion in equity on homeowner balance sheets and encourage people to tap this equity through home equity loans by taking out a secondary mortgage. This is happening at a time when inflation has completely changed the way people live on a day-to-day basis in the US. So much so that a lot of middle-class Americans are tapped out from these high prices. Just look at the consumer stocks in the market. So many of them are in bear market territory. But before we get into how this will be a massive problem for the housing markets, I've got a tool today that will help you save more money. Let me introduce today's partner, Kudos. So one of the big picture missions of my channel is to help my audience earn more and save more. There are certain tools that can help accomplish this goal, and that's where today's video partner comes in. What if I told you that there's an easy way to turn your everyday purchases into free flights, hotel stays, and awesome travel experiences by leveraging your current spending? It's called Kudos, and it's a completely free browser extension and AI-powered wallet that helps you maximize your credit card rewards and benefits when you shop online. Kudos makes it easy to earn more travel rewards by automatically suggesting the best credit card to use on each purchase to ensure that you're always racking up the highest miles, points, or cash back based on the cards that you have. Kudos is also partnered with the Points Guy so you can discover new credit cards and get access to the highest sign-up bonuses possible when you apply for a new card. But Kudos doesn't just help with you earning more rewards, it also saves you time as it makes shopping a breeze by autofilling your credit card info with one click. To put it in simple terms, Kudos is very easy. It's like using Apple Pay, Honey, and NerdWallet all at once. The best part is that Kudos is completely free, no hidden fees, just more cash back into your own pocket. Kudos is trusted by over 200,000 shoppers and was awarded the #1 app to multiply your rewards by card rates. Start turning your everyday purchases into free travel by clicking the link below and use the sign-up code Larry to get $20 back after your first eligible purchase. Start getting more out of your credit cards with Kudos today. Now, back to the video. There are estimates that banks are conducting that suggest that Freddie Mac could unlock about $980 billion in equity for homeowners to be used as basically a line of credit. And if Fannie Mae and Ginnie Mac join the picture, there are estimates that the secondary home equity loan market could exceed $3 trillion. To put it in simple terms, that basically means that homeowners will be given the option to tap their home equity to get the cash to stay afloat in the current high inflation environment ahead of the US election. I think that millions and millions of people, now that this option will be available soon, will use it. This basically means that a typical American's most valued asset is slowly being converted into a future liability. Now, if you connect the dots together, what is all this additional spending in the economy going to do? That's right, everyone. All this additional spending is going to cause a feedback loop cycle. It's going to accelerate inflation even further than what we're seeing now and reverse the progress that the Federal Reserve has made on inflation. Analysts seem to think that there is between $800 billion and $1.5 trillion in potential home equity loans if the secondary mortgage market is tapped. To put it in perspective, stimulus of this size to the economy is comparable to Biden's 2021 American Rescue Plan, which totaled $1.9 trillion when we got the stimulus checks. And we all know that that was responsible for spiking inflation from 1.5% all the way to 9% in 2022. I think that it's highly likely that a lot of people have to tap into a secondary mortgage if available to get access to more liquidity from their house, especially if the job market becomes more challenging. All this flood of liquidity is going to act as stimulus, which is going to bring a complete halt to all the progress that the Fed has made on inflation. They were so close to getting to that 2% target, weren't they? But now, with this new policy coming online very soon, it looks like all the effects of tight monetary policy on inflation may be about to reverse. Now, I mean, people aren't stupid, okay? They know what's going on. You should read what this means for you. Read the comments that are happening on Reddit. Read the comments that are happening on this Wall Street Journal's article on this topic. I've linked these sites in the description below. Look, folks, if people borrow a secondary mortgage on their homes because they need the cash, they are on the hook for these loan payments, and if they are delinquent, they could lose their homes. Another situation is that if home prices start falling from here after the secondary mortgages are taken, it's possible that millions of homeowners may need to sell their homes to avoid negative equity, where the loan is more valuable than the market value of the house. Guys, what's going on here is a giant wealth transfer mechanism that could turn the biggest assets that most hard-working people own into one giant liability. There are estimates that most Americans have about 60 to 70% of their wealth tied up in their homes. So here's the most critical part. It's taxpayers who will back these secondary mortgages if they default. Now that cash out refinancing is not a popular thing because of high interest rates, these secondary mortgages by Freddie Mac, which allow the owner to keep the interest rate of their primary mortgage, are going to be very popular among people who need the extra funds. We've heard that housing defaults and foreclosures have been at record lows. Well, this is because home equity has been quite stable in the US. But the home equity picture is about to change. And if there is any uptick in unemployment, that could make paying these secondary mortgages more difficult and make foreclosures more likely. And because there's already an affordability problem in the US, An increase in supply in housing is unlikely to be met with the quick demand to absorb it, and that will cause the entire market to get even more illiquid than it is now. Now, in practical terms, will this new plan by Freddie Mac go through? And the important thing is that it's yes, it is likely to go through. The official rule is that Freddie Mac can automatically adopt this plan within 60 days unless its regulatory agency vetoes it. More information on this in the description below. I've included the information in my description. The bottom line is that the U.S. administration is now orchestrating the greatest wealth transfer in history from what's left of the common hardworking man to the banks. So get ready for the U.S. economy to see a big temporary consumer spending recovery, one that could provide a huge boost to the markets, one that is made possible because people are forced to trade in their home equity asset for extra current liquidity to stay afloat. And that's going to turn into a massive liability. The underlying strength in the housing market, where people have built up equity over time, is about to get reduced. And this is going to make the phrase from the World Economic Forum come true. You will own nothing and you will be happy. To get one step further, you will not only own nothing, and the banks will own you instead. So my friends, be very careful about these secondary mortgages by Freddie Mac. This is a gigantic strategy to shift the risk from the banks back to the taxpayers. As Abraham Lincoln once famously said, you can fool all the people some of the time and some of the people all the time, but you cannot fool all of the people all of the time. Eventually, people will see what's going on here. People aren't stupid. I just want to share this with you before it's too late. Crises are years in the making. They do not happen overnight. They don't even happen in 1, 2, or even 3 years. The key is being ready when it happens, because when it does, you can literally catapult your social status up 5 ladders if you play your cards right. In the meantime, you're going to have to potentially endure even more intense inflation than previously imagined. Companies are going to be more ruthless than ever about their cost-cutting strategies. They're going to protect their bottom line. Your goal is to survive the chopping block. There is a famous saying by German philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche, "That which does not kill you only makes you stronger." For those of you who still have your jobs, you're in a position of strength. Keep your job so that you don't have to take out these secondary mortgages. A dangerous game is being played, and I want you to win it. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like. Thank you for watching. I want to help. Read my stuff on Substack. Thank you to Kudos for helping my viewers make the most of their resources. I will see you next time.